Finally, seats over. There we go. Well, congratulations so much on a terrific film. And honestly, let's just jump right into the beginning of the project. What was it for you that really kind of drew you into kind of these ideas, this film that we got to see today?
Stephen and I were having cocktails at a pub, and we were talking about all sorts of things, including art. And I asked Stephen, "What are you thinking about doing?" And he said, "I kind of wanted to do a thing about." Originally, he was talking about maybe kind of a Patricia Highsmithy sort of thing, like an older artist and a younger artist. And I had always wanted to be doing something about a lot of mentors of mine in both writing and comedy who had given up. And we started talking, and immediately I said, "Oh my God, I know what this is about." And my mom's a painter, and we just started riffing, and for about, I wouldn't even say more than a half hour, I was like, "Oh my God, I know what this is. I've been wanting to write this forever." And I went home and I told my wife, I said, we never even said, "So we'll go write something." I just went home and I said, "I think I'm writing a movie for Stephen right now."
Half-hour piece of cake, right?
Yeah.
No, that's wonderful. And like, so what drew you to the project, Steve?
Well, like Ed said, in my mind, it was a little more Tom Ripley than it ended up being, which is a really good thing, because Ed brought to it something that I thought was deeper and more fun, frankly. So I just encouraged him to go and take a run at it, which he did, pretty quickly. And then it became an issue of, well, who are these people? And we started talking about Ian and Michaela before you're really supposed to do that. During the writing, like you shouldn't do that. And it all kind of came together pretty quickly. Like Ed really, again, on spec, just went and started writing, and we approached Michaela and Ian, and then Jessica and James. Everybody, this might have been a first. Everybody we went to said yes. And then it all, Department N came on, and it happened pretty quickly, which I take as a good sign.
Evidently. And before I move to the floor, I just do want to talk, because we're talking about like the casting process, but especially for the two of you, what was it like when you kind of like first read the script, got approached? What drew you to the project?
Hello? Yeah, for me, it was the script. I'd already heard before it was written that there was interest in me for this project with Steven Soderbergh and Ian McKellen. Ed Solomon was writing, and I was like, well, this all sounds amazing. Let's wait for the script. And then the script came, and I was like, you know, it's like every time I turned the page, I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know what kind of person Laurie was, and I thought, this is so mysterious. And it really kind of made me like listen to where I judge people, including my own character, and then to end in a way that circumvented all my expectations, I thought was incredible. And I love the idea of a character like Ian McKellen and like me coming together and like loving each other.
Sure. How about you for yourself?
Yeah, well, for me, I think they said that it would be a chance to kind of showcase my own artwork. I didn't realise it was going to get a laugh, but
that was one of her better ones.
with the, I mean, you hear this bunch and you think, is it a prank phone call? So no, I was very, very chuffed to be asked, and what an honour to be part of it.
Yeah, very well said. Well, I want to open it up to the floor. Like I said, like if you do have questions, I'm gonna try and see through the light. We got a question right here, I think fifth row-ish. Yeah. So the question is like the chemistry that you had with Sir Ian McKellen.
He's just the best person ever. I have never met him. I'd never met him before. We had planned like a week before we started shooting to meet at his house. So Ed called me. I had just arrived back from Ghana where I had been for like 5 months. And I literally was at Heathrow. Ed said, Ian wants to do a read-through at his house. So I dropped my bag, ran to Ian's house, had never met him. He's just the loveliest soul. You know, they say, don't meet your heroes. This is like the hero you're so glad you met him. You just want to cuddle him. We just cuddle each other. We're just like, oh, good morning. And we hug and like we take naps together. He's just lovely and like the loveliest person. I think for all of us, a hero. And it was a very fast-paced shoot. Stephen is very efficient, and that's something I had been told because I was like, I didn't have a lot of time. I was writing a show, and everyone was like, don't worry, Stephen said it goes really quick. And he was, and like Ian was a hero. He just had an upward spirit, even going up and down those stairs every day.
The line where they say, I'll make you an omelet, well, that was because that morning when he said, let me make you guys breakfast, I'll make an omelet. And I was like, oh, don't, he's like, no, I'm gonna. And he actually made us omelets in his house.
There we go. All right, we'll go 1 and then 2, but yeah, question right there. The question was about the stair work and like the presence. Yeah.
Well, the approach here obviously is different in the sense that in presence, I don't get to use this tool that really, in some ways, makes movies unique, which is montage, and the ability to sort of use a series of images to tell a story, and in presence, each scene is a single point of view because of the conceit of the story. The trick here for me was to try and stay simple, but also, you know, have the audience feel like it wasn't static. And so you're constantly judging, well, what can I do with the camera that feels organic so that if I'm doing something, it doesn't feel like it's coming from a place of insecurity. I have to believe in the text. I have to believe in my cast. And I don't want to distract the audience, but I don't want them to be bored visually either. So it was, the good news is that location is very much a character and afforded us opportunities for movement. But at the same time, I was careful that when they're just talking, and there's just 2 people talking, you just gotta go with that. Like you can't, that's my very first film, is 2 people in a room talking. And so I had to remind myself, like, it's gonna play, just don't get nervous. And so it was a quick shoot, but that's good too, because it forces everybody to kind of focus and they understand, you know, we're moving in a direction. But at the same time, you guys can all testify, we're kind of recalibrating as we're working, because I'm editing every night, we're posting what we have every weekend so that we can get a sense of the shape of it. And I'm going back while we're shooting and doing things again and picking up shots to try and make it better. That's the fun part, is having those conversations and just going, is there a better version of this? Like, what is that? and trying to do it while we're there, although we did a couple of rounds of reshoots. But it was, I just want to say, looking out at all of you, this, I believe if you're gonna judge somebody, you should probably look at what they do as opposed to what they say. This is the festival I've been to more than any other festival on the planet. So, I mention that because as we were finishing and getting close to finishing, I thought, oh, this is gonna line up, that it could be perfect to world premiere the movie in Toronto, and what a perfect place I felt to show this film in this room. So I just wanted to say
Got a question right in the middle. The question is, what is the significance of the outfit you have on today?
Okay, yeah. This is a Sudanese tobe. My jewelry is also Sudanese. The necklace in particular is a nod to West Sudan, where there's a very big war going on right now. My henna is Sudanese henna, and everything I'm wearing is made by Sudanese women who are leaders of their country. Thank you. They are leaders and pioneers in their country, and right now that country is facing famine, violence, and the displacement of over 12 million people, which sounds like just a number, but if you're under 60, it is the biggest humanitarian crisis that you've ever been alive to know about. So I wear this to honor them and to stand with them and say, I see them, and to platform their businesses. This is Hibba's Tove. This is Nisreen Kuku, that's the name of the jury. And Auntie Kanina did my henna.
So, yeah, we probably have time for a few questions. We're going to go one, and then I see a very far back, so don't worry, I'm going to get to you, so go for it. Is there a musical link between this film and Aaron Brockovich, is the question.
I can see that. I hadn't thought of that, but I can see that. The music was tricky. When I was talking to David Holmes early on, there was a very different approach originally that was less friendly, like a little more discordant, and a little more ominous. And as the movie evolved and we started like really getting a sense of what it was, I started talking to David Holmes, and I said, no, I want to, he always sends me lots of things to listen to, and there was a particular piece with a sort of Fender Rhodes keyboard progression, and I said, that's it, that's what the movie sounds like, and he sort of built it out of that, but it did evolve, over the course of shooting and editing, and you're not wrong.
Nailed it. All right, and then we'll wrap up top, because you've had your hand up there for a while.
Thank you. I was just wondering if you could talk about the art in the movie, and was it only portraits? And for Lawrence, on title number 7, like the look of that piece and how that came together, and then also the cloud at the end, and that was like very beautiful and electronic, and this idea of all these things that you left behind maybe on the cloud. I was just wondering how that component of it all came together.
Yeah, so it really is about the creation of the art within the film itself.
That's a good one, Fred.
Not me.
Take it away, Jessica. Yeah.
Well, the creation.
Inspiration.
The creation of the art that you saw on screen itself was made by some very talented artists who worked on the movie itself. The idea for Man on Cloud at the end, which was all the iPads, that really just came out of, I mean, it's going to sound really, really lame. Just in the writing of it, it seemed like a way to both have his presence be there, but through her presence, I guess. It seemed like a way to bring them all together. The portraiture really for me, it was about trying to tell a story about a man longing for companionship who was unable to understand why there was no one left in his life. And a man sort of trapped in the prison of his own narcissism and not being able to understand where everyone went, and to the idea of reinvestigating this time in his life, really, when he was finally felt love for someone else, and what that felt like and how freeing that was. And I think for Stephen, if I may say, I mean, you know, he's always more interested in portraiture, right, than, you know, and the landscape that Laurie had created, you know, that was a drawing. I don't even know who one of our scenic artists drew it, and she did draw hers. We told her draw the good one. Yeah,
I nailed it. Yeah, well, on that note, we do have to wrap up, but before we do, I just want to say from the audience, thank you so much for all your amazing questions, and please, a round of applause to the cast and crew here, and remarkable, so thank you all so much for coming out, thank you.